Hey Shady Spotlight viewers, buckle up because the news cycle is absolutely wild today. We've got some earth-shattering collaborations, a legendary anniversary that's got everyone talking, and a deep dive into the very soul of rock and roll. Plus, we're looking ahead to a fall movie season that's packed with surprises. Get ready for the hottest updates you won't want to miss. First up, music royalty is uniting. We're talking about a legendary partnership that's set to drop new music and re-release a classic with a star-studded lineup. This is the kind of news that makes history, and you're going to hear all about it right here, right now. Then, we're rewinding the clock to celebrate a monumental anniversary for an album that redefined an entire genre. This wasn't just music, it was a cultural phenomenon, and we've got all the details on why it's still resonating 50 years later. Get ready to feel the energy. We're also exploring the unexpected spiritual side of one of music's biggest icons. You might think you know the story, but there's a deeper layer that connects faith, art, and the raw emotion that fuels legendary careers. It's a perspective you won't find anywhere else. And finally, get ready for your cinematic cheat sheet. We're breaking down the most anticipated movies hitting the big screen and streaming services this fall. From biopics to blockbusters, we've got your guide to what you'll be watching. You don't want to miss these stories. Hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. A legendary union, Springsteen and Bon Jovi unite. Get ready for a seismic event in the music world. Jon Bon Jovi is dropping a special, legendary edition of his album Forever, and it's not just any re-release. This powerhouse collection features an absolutely stacked lineup of guest vocalists, including the one and only Bruce Springsteen, Jelly Roll, James Bay, Robbie Williams, Jason Isbell, Ryan Tedder, The War and Treaty, Joe Elliott from Def Leppard, Lainey Wilson, Avril Lavigne, and Marcus King, among many others. This isn't just a collection of songs, it's a testament to the power of collaboration, born out of Bon Jovi's own journey. Jon Bon Jovi himself shared that the vocal demands of touring were still a challenge post-vocal cord surgery, leading him to call upon his friends. The result is an album with a new viewpoint and new spirit, a collaboration album that proves we all get by in this world with a little help from our friends, he stated, expressing immense joy and gratitude. The expanded album also boasts a brand new opening track, Red, White and Jersey, and a fresh version of Hollow Man featuring Springsteen. The original Forever, released last year, was produced by Jon Bon Jovi and John Shanks, and featured longtime Bon Jovi members David Bryan and Tico Torres. Along with Hugh McDonald and Phil X, it marked John's first studio return after his vocal cord surgery. The album contained 12 new tracks, including the lead single Legendary. The extensive list of collaborators on this legendary edition truly highlights the deep respect and camaraderie within the music industry, promising a fresh perspective on Bon Jovi's recent work. This release is more than just a collection of tracks. It's a celebration of resilience, friendship, and the enduring spirit of rock and roll, all coming together in a project that feels both timely and timeless. The anticipation for this genre-bending collaboration is already palpable, with fans eager to hear how these iconic voices blend and reinterpret these tracks, creating something entirely new yet familiar. But the legends don't stop there. We're diving even deeper into the legacy of one of these artists as a groundbreaking album hits a major milestone. Next, we're celebrating a 50th anniversary that redefined rock music as we know it. Born to Run, 50 Years of a Rock Revolution. 50 years ago, in August 1975, Bruce Springsteen dropped an album that didn't just enter the charts. It exploded onto the cultural landscape, saving rock music from what many saw as bloat and commercialism. In an era where critics lamented rock's excess, Time magazine famously declared that Springsteen had taken rock forward by taking it back, keeping it young, heralding him as a regeneration, a renewal of rock. Born to Run, Springsteen's third album but his first true breakthrough, was met with immediate critical adoration. Critics drew parallels between Springsteen and giants like Bob Dylan, Mick Jagger, and Pete Townshend. Fans lined up for hours to catch him at the bottom line in Greenwich Village, with the New York Times calling him a man who might just be the next Mr. Jagger. The Washington Post ran a headline proclaiming Bruce Springsteen, justifying the hype, praising the album for cementing his status as an artist with almost unlimited gifts. The media frenzy was intense, with Springsteen gracing the covers of both Newsweek and Time, publications that held immense cultural sway at the time. Even the Village Voice playfully satirized the hype, noting the corporate drums ensuring everybody gets the message about a new savior. Springsteen himself, however, often felt detached from the escalating praise. He admitted to feeling like he was on the outside of all this, even though I know I'm on the inside. He recalled an instance in Europe where a marquee declared, "Finally, London is ready for Brucespringsten," which he found presumptuous, preferring the audience to decide his impact. His autobiography details his frustration with the next fucking big thing. Posters, feeling it was the kiss of death, and that artists should show them and let them decide. He even tore down posters he found excessive. The intense creative process for Born to Run was legendary, with Springsteen pushing his E Street Band to their limits. His road manager recalled sessions where Springsteen would reject takes, only to reconsider them later, a process that could stretch 10 to 15 hours a day. Despite the obsessive compulsiveness, the end result was an album Springsteen later admired for its near-indestructible structure. Today, Born to Run is universally acclaimed, ranked number 21 on Rolling Stone's list of the 500 greatest albums. From the anthemic call to escape in the title track to Clarence Clemons's iconic sax solo in Jungleland, the album's enduring quality, even half a century later, continues to justify the immense hype it generated. But beyond the music and the media storm, there's a fascinating layer to Springsteen's work that connects deeply with faith and spirituality. Now, let's explore the profound Catholic influences woven into the fabric of the boss's legendary career. The boss's faith, Springsteen's Catholic roots. The 50th anniversary of Bruce Springsteen's seminal album, Born to Run, has sparked conversations not just about his music, but about his deep-seated Catholic identity. Often described as rock and roll's leading Catholic songwriter, Springsteen's Irish-Italian heritage has undeniably shaped his worldview and artistic expression. He's frequently quoted saying, "Once you're Catholic, there is no getting out," suggesting the faith is an intrinsic part of his perspective. His lyrics are replete with references to sinners and the imagery of Catholic redemption, exploring themes of the lonely pilgrim seeking a promised land. As one commentator noted, had St. Augustine penned rock songs, his hungry heart might have sounded like Springsteen's. The argument is made that Springsteen without his Catholic faith is simply not the same artist. He himself wrote in his memoir about his Catholic boyhood at St. Rose of Lima Parish in Freehold, New Jersey, describing the poetry, danger, and darkness that reflected his imagination and my inner self, a presence that has walked alongside me as a waking dream my whole life. This perspective highlights how even non-observant Catholics can be profoundly shaped by the faith, a demographic often seen as fertile ground for new evangelization. The piece draws a parallel with author Graham Greene, whose struggles with Catholicism fueled his most powerful works, suggesting that for Springsteen, the frictions of faith are what bring his songs to life. His Springsteen on Broadway residency, a mix of concert and memoir, was described as a long and noisy prayer tinged with magic. He concluded each show by reciting the ancient benediction he learned in childhood. The enduring framework of his faith is evident even in his descriptions of the E Street Band as a communion of souls, where the secret is that 1 + 1 = 3, an equation he links to love, art, and the inexplicable nature of the universe, hinting at a spiritual dimension beyond the material. This concept, while not explicitly Trinitarian, touches upon the idea of a spirit that transcends simple addition, resonating with the essence of communion central to Catholicism. Early in his career, songs like If I Was the Priest explored complex spiritual and moral landscapes, portraying a protagonist who is part Robin to Jesus Batman, and highlighting the recurring theme of saints and sinners in his work. Springsteen's prolific output, including 7 new albums released at once in his 70s, showcases a lifetime of grappling with these themes, producing material like the soundtrack for a never-made spiritual western titled Faithless. Even in songs like All God's Children and My Master's Hand, he delves into the human condition, acknowledging struggle while ultimately expressing trust and faith, a journey described as the Augustinian journey, Jersey style. This deep connection between his faith and his music offers a unique lens through which to appreciate his enduring legacy. As we celebrate these musical milestones and introspective journeys, the entertainment world continues to churn out new stories. Now, let's shift gears and look ahead to the cinematic landscape with a preview of the fall movie season. Fall Film Frenzy, a blockbuster preview. Get ready, movie lovers, because the fall season is shaping up to be a cinematic feast, surprisingly devoid of caped crusaders, but packed with compelling stories and star power. From the much-anticipated return of Wicked, Witches to a deep dive into the life of a rock icon, there's something for every taste. Kicking off the season in September, we'll see the continuation of the Conjuring universe with The Conjuring, Last Rites and Spike Lee's crime thriller, Highest to Lowest, landing on Apple TV+. Dylan O'Brien stars in the black comedy drama Twinless, while Jay Duplass directs The Baltimoreans. Anime fans can look forward to Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba the movie, Infinity Castle, and the Downton Abbey saga concludes with Downton Abbey, the grand finale. Stephen King's dystopian world comes to life in The Long Walk, starring Mark Hamill, while British horror arrives with Rabbit Trap. Action thriller fans have Tin Soldier featuring Jamie Foxx and Robert De Niro, and romance fantasy blooms in A Big Bold Beautiful Journey with Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell. September also brings sports horror with him, starring Marlon Wayans, and straight-to-streaming horror in Night of the Reaper. October promises even more excitement. We'll see All of You, a sci-fi romance on Apple TV+, and Scarlett Johansson's directorial debut with Eleanor the Great. Gabby's Dollhouse, the movie, brings animation to the big screen, while Dead of Winter stars Emma Thompson in a chilling drama. Leonardo DiCaprio and Paul Thomas Anderson team up for one battle after another, and a modern take on a biblical story arrives with Ruth and Boaz. The horror franchise The Strangers continues with Chapter 2. Heist flick Play Dirty with Mark Wahlberg hits Prime Video, and supernatural horror unfolds in Good Boy. Paul Greengrass directs The Lost Bus, starring Matthew McConaughey, and Dwayne Johnson transforms into MMA fighter Mark Kerr in The Smashing Machine. Cillian Murphy stars in Steve, and the VHS anthology series returns with VHS Halloween. Daniel Day-Lewis emerges from retirement for Anemone, Sofia Coppola produces Fairyland, and Jennifer Lopez stars in the musical Kiss of the Spider-Woman. Channing Tatum stars in the comedy drama Roofman, while Jared Leto enters the digital world in Tron, Ares. Keira Knightley stars in the thriller The Woman in Cabin 10. November brings Julia Roberts and Ayo Edebiri in After the Hunt, and the sequel Black Phone 2 returns Ethan Hawke. Keanu Reeves stars in Aziz Ansari's directorial debut, Good Fortune. Ethan Hawke and Richard Linklater reunite for Blue Moon, and Catherine Bigelow directs A House of Dynamite with Idris Elba. Mortal Kombat II and horror comedy Queens of the Dead arrive alongside Regretting You. The much-anticipated Bruce Springsteen biopic, Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, starring Jeremy Allen White, hits theaters on October 24th, offering a glimpse into the making of his album Nebraska. Other November releases include thrillers like Anniversary and Muzzle, City of Wolves, Colin Farrell in Ballad of a Small Player, and Emma Stone reuniting with Yorgos Lanthimos for Bugonia. Anime fans have Chainsaw Man, the movie, Rosette Arc, while Guillermo del Toro presents his take on Frankenstein. Coming-of-age drama, I Wish You All the Best, and historical drama Nuremberg starring Rami Malek are also on the slate. The Predator franchise continues with Predator, Badlands, and the biopic Sarah's Oil tells the story of Sarah Rector. Holiday movies like A Merry Little Xmas arrive, alongside horror films Keeper and Nouvelle Vague. Edgar Wright directs Arnold Schwarzenegger's role in The Running Man with Glenn Powell. Sisu, Road to Revenge continues the action, and Train Dreams offers a historical drama. Finally, Wicked, for Good brings the second half of the musical adaptation to the big screen. That's a wrap on our movie preview, but the action doesn't stop here. We've covered music, legacy, and cinema, and now it's time to bring it all together. Let's do a quick recap of today's top stories. And that's a wrap on today's Shady Spotlight. We saw Bon Jovi and Bruce Springsteen team up for new music, celebrated the 50th anniversary of Springsteen's iconic Born to Run, explored the deep Catholic roots in Springsteen's songwriting, and previewed a jam-packed fall movie season. Don't miss out on any future updates. Hit that like button, subscribe to Shady Spotlight, and ring the notification bell. Plus, let us know your favorite story in the comments below, and follow us on all social media platforms for more exclusive content.